Hey guys, welcome to the Engage Business Connect. Today we have Connie Kucher, who's going to be sharing some of her wonderful wisdom all about, what are we talking about today? We're talking about being
How to
top of
stay top
mind
of
with your
mind.
clients, right? So it's going to
Mm,
be really good. So
yeah.
I'm just going to hand it off to you. Have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'd love to frame for today's, I always say it's a little bit of like education, it's a little bit of entertainment, it's a little bit of training, it's a little bit of case studies. So if you've ever coached with me or again done any of just the content specific, I'm gonna give you very actionable items. I'm not gonna talk high level, just motivation of stay top of mind and do the thing. And you're like, well, what is the thing? So today's training is very tactile. So I'm gonna share a slide deck so that we can work together, have a visual together. I'm going to really encourage you to take some notes along this way. Here's how I'm going to frame this is I'm very self-aware that I am going to over deliver and over serve in terms of strategies. Thanks for the self-awareness. Don't need it in the evaluation, right? What I am asking is that you then narrow down the five that I'm going to speak to being your top two, because you're going to know your strengths, you're going to know your capacity, you're going to know your bandwidth, and you're going to know how to adapt that. And I'm going to say for quarter 4. Okay. So we're sitting here in happy week October, if you can believe that. But what I'm going to speak to in terms of these five, how do I stay top of mind? How do I do follow up in a meaningful, stalker free guarantee kind of way? I want you to hone in on two of these strategies, and they're going to look different for everybody. I'm not a big coach that goes, here's the exact methodology. I go, here's the blueprint. You get to customize how you want your program to look, your custom home to look. Okay.
Mhm.
So I put all of those asterisk, asterisk, asterisk moments so that I'm empowering you to critically think what we're going to share today, not just copy and paste and go, I need to do a robot move of exactly what Connie just, said. I want you to have the creativity and self-trust to infuse this in your current business model. Do not make this an add-on to something that's not sustainable. Make this a space that you get to expand on. Okay.
Mhm.
So I'll get off my soapbox and back on to my training hat, and I will share this slide deck here. I want to make sure I've got the right one. Bingo, bingo. Awesome. So Stephanie, you can see the slide deck front. Want to make sure?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good. And Jess is good to go, and everyone watching the recording. Awesome. Awesome. So staying top of mind, I just want you to kind of do some reflection on what does that mean for you? So a lot of times when we come into, marketing strategies, we think that we're reinventing the wheel. And what I'm going to encourage, it's like you're churning the same type of conversations, different categories of people, but it's not you're starting over every single month. I think when we struggle with how much time it takes to follow up, to market, is because you think that your company is Innovation LLC. It's not. It's rinse and repeat so that there's multiple engagement points. So what I mean by that is that once you start something, you have to finish it, right? Like the purpose of you going and speaking and getting leads or doing a Facebook, campaign and even doing social media strategy for marketing is that you actually have to like finish the cycle, and then you repeat the cycle, and then you revise the cycle. Notice that you're not constantly starting the cycle. Okay. So the purpose for follow-up strategies, if you leave with nothing else, you could hop off the training today and be 10% better. Is that your purpose of following up is that you have customers and prospects that have more confidence in you, more interest in you, and more curiosity. So why I say that is that 80% of conversion when they want to inquire about your product or service, or they want to move forward and actually now getting to know exactly what you do, Connie, exactly what you do, Jess, happens at the 5th and 12th touch point. Now, I'm not saying that then 5 to 12 touch points or engagement points need to be an awkward sales email every single time. It can be
Mhm.
what we're going to talk about these 5 different ways, but it needs to have a rhythm that every quarter, no matter how many people are in your pipeline, how many emails you send out, you have a podcast, you don't, you have a newsletter, you don't. I'm not worried about the modalities. That's where you get to select where you want to put your resources, how you want to outsource, and how much time you have to sustain. I want you to map out in this blueprint that's starting, let's say, a clean quarter, October 1 to December 31st, that you have 5 to 12 touch points already built in. That all the humans that have ever known about your senior business, known about it, have given you money for exchange of your services. You know that you have 5 to 12 touch points built in that then you funnel people into. So before I change this slide, write this down. Follow up, typically when you feel the pressure of that, you feel like it has to be a 1-to-1 ratio. So
Mhm.
write down 1-to-1 ratio, and then in a loving way, cross the living heck out of it. Okay. You don't have time. I don't have time to have all of my engagement points be a 1-to-1 ratio where I follow up just on that one proposal. I just, in my CRM system, follow up with everybody individually. Now, if they're a hot lead or if they have missed a deadline, I do honor that you will need to stay follow up. But what I'm saying is your overall top of mind strategy should be one to many. Write that down. Like you can put one to infinity, one to many. One is because you are so time poor and I don't even know you. But I know that 164 hours will only go so far in 7 days. I know that we're all tired. I know that we're all trying to do our best version of ourselves in our businesses, in our relationships, in our health and wellness journey. So I'm giving you permission as a coach. I've done this for years and years and years. Is I do not expect myself to sustain a 1-to-1 follow-up strategy. I expect myself as the CEO and the employee of my business to have 5 to 12 touch points for people to be invited to, for the masses to continue to get to know me, for people to go. I may not be interested in X invitation, Connie, but I remember talking with you about, coaching back in February. So there has to be these milestones that are non-negotiable for your marketing plan, and then you funnel the many to them. Okay. So the pre-work to make that make sense is you must clarify who. When I work with clients, a lot of people go, I'm going to do X event or X newsletter or X campaign, fill in the blank to what is yours. And it's going to be to all the humans, everyone I network, everyone that has ever purchased from me, everybody that is not renewed with me, everybody. And I don't know why nobody showed up to the stinking thing, because that is not how follow up or top of mind work. If you don't have your CRM set up this way, I'm going to encourage you to start working into these 4 categories. If you have no idea what a CRM system is, it's your lucky day because you get to start clean in appropriate categories. So there should be 4 lists that you could pull at any moment, even if it's just, Connie, I need to practice on paper. I love it. Let's do it. Your first category, or what I'm going to say moving forward, is quadrant. Okay. Because the visual for these 4 categories, instead of it being just a running email list, or can I get an amen, a running Facebook, friends list or leads list or
Uh-huh.
interest list. Okay. I
Mhm.
don't want you running. I want you to envision a garden. Okay. And I want you to think about the first quadrant of the garden, in this square garden. 25% of your effort, 25% of your leads list is in re-engaging past clients. You should have a segmented email list, a segmented Facebook friends list, a segmented Instagram follower sunshines, interested in, that they've done one workshop with you, but then they've never done anything, even from 2017. That list in your garden should live somewhere. Okay.
Mhm.
And if you've not data mined that at a fine tooth comb, today is your opportunity to maybe go, that's something I need to work on. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's 25% of the strategy, is that when we talk about how these events can go, it's just to target and re-engage past clients. Okay. Now let's move to the second quadrant of the garden. That is to attract new clients only. Like the way I like to think about it is I'm like, that is the first group already knows what's in the garden. Like they've already participated in some service or some product that you activate. This one is like, they have no idea what they're about to get in the Connie train, right? Like this is the one where I'm like, man, I can just wow them. They're going to be the most beautiful flowers. They're never going to know exactly your expertise in the way you deliver it. So those techniques are just to attract. Notice I'm not saying your follow-up or top of mind is to convert new clients. Because what happens in this 25% of your garden, friends, is this is where you are percolating. This is where you are, like pollinating ideas and concepts, and they're just kind of courting you in that place. But they have a lot of questions. They don't have a high level of confidence with you anymore. There's curiosity that's built. That's a big part of that quadrant, but they're not ready to pull the trigger because they're probably at touch point 1 with you. They're probably at touch point 2.5 with you, and maybe someone suggesting you. Okay. That's not enough. And there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me to go, Connie, I have had them, they're attracted. They showed some interest. I got them attend a happy hour. I got them to attend an open house, but they didn't do anything. And I'm like, that is okay, because I don't expect that quadrant to do anything until they have had some type of content experience with me, value add experience with me, connect with me, introduction to something else that would serve them to pay forward an opportunity. Like it's going to take 5 to 12 touch points in that category. I don't care where you live. I don't care what your price point is. I don't care what's going on with the elections. Like everyone gets really freaked out about why is it taking so long? What's happening? And I'm like, you're running a business. That's what's happening. like it takes more time to populate that part of the garden. Okay. So just accept it, love it. There's nothing wrong with you. So when you're like, man, they didn't reply to touch point 7. I know they didn't. Welcome to cultivating and percolating that part of your garden. Okay. Now we go to the third over here. I always visualize it that it's kind of like in my back corner, of the garden, if you will, because this is where you are cross exposing to your networking groups, to people that already will never work with you, but they will be your super fans. They'll be great referral partners, but they already have a real estate agent. They already have a chiropractor. They already have a business coach, right? So they're going to sing your praises, but they don't know about the next new offering you're doing. Or they only know you in a capacity of being an author coach, but they didn't know that you also do copywriting for any website designers. Okay. So for example, that third quadrant of how you stay top of mind is this is not to clients. It is not business to clients model. It is business to business model, B2B, and making sure that they over time understand your list of services or products. Because think about this. Let's say the 5 people that you network the most, they probably know the top 2 ways you serve clients, the top 2 ways that you have programs, the top 2 ways to explain what the heck you actually do. But between you, me, and the garden, we probably have 10 different services, products. I didn't know you did that, Connie. I didn't know you offered that, Connie. So instead of confusing the top of mind, one of your strategies, again, can be you choose the priority, can be I've already networked with my BNI for 3 years. I've already been part of my, polka dot chapter for 5 years. Like it's kind of like you putter out and you don't know what to do with these people that know you, trust you, like you're doing life together, and you're like, I don't know how to leverage that anymore. It's this population that you start doing cross exposure so that it's a win-win for them to understand a new department in your company, a new way of you doing the services, and that they can become part of that, what I call, PR team for you. But it takes touch points to stay top of mind on that. Okay. Last but not least, sweet friends, the garden is almost seeded right now. In the long run, your business model, I don't care if you've been doing it for 2 years or 22 years, right? So I'm on my 15th year of consulting and coaching and running whatever modality of, services and professional development I have done. The ultimate goal is to retain clients. So I think that this is the most important. I also know that this takes the longest to make sure that you have a service or a modality to retain the clients. So most of us don't know the entire, sales cycle is like they did two things with me and they just kind of graduated out of my company. That's the group I'm talking about, is that they have paid you. They have probably done multiple programs with you. They have given you great referrals. I mean, these are like your triple whammy, list of emails, list of clients, but you don't know how to retain them. You haven't offered them yet a container to maintain the work that they do with you, to up level, to get more customization from you. So when you think about these events I'm going to talk about in these training portions, that can be a group that you elevate the content. They're graduating from the elementary way of working with you to maybe the master's level way. Okay. That should be its own bucket. Okay. Now I'm going to articulate the how. So you probably need to pause the training and watch that part 17 more times, because I really want you to take action. Like I said, I'm a coach that goes tactile, not good luck with the engagement and post something else on social media, right? So my encouragement is you can pause this video and take 15 minutes and honestly go and make your list in these 4 categories, or honestly put a time block on your calendar to go, I need to rework my CRM and how I put people in to whatever way you track all of your modes of communication, your email marketing, your social media strategies, your text message campaigns in these 4 categories. Okay. Now we're going to talk about what do I do with these buckets of people. All right. And this is where it gets kind of more meat and potatoes. And this will be about the last 10 minutes of the training. So I always love to give you time bound constraints, because you're like, Kercher, my brain's already blown. And I'm like, super, take an inhale, take an exhale. The next chapter of this training is, what do I activate with when I choose one of these buckets? Okay. First concept, open house concept. This can be virtual. This can actually be at a tangible co-working space, coffee shop, beauty salon, fill in the blank, okay? Health and wellness, studio, or it can also be a virtual experience. Most of us think about an open house being a grand opening, or being like when I first started my business, I had an open house just to get anybody and everybody that would come, and I haven't used it for years and years and years. Is a missed strategy, folks. You could be doing, again, think through your bandwidth and where you would want to have this. You could be having a come and go, one to many open house ratio of, let's say it's for everyone that you have cross networked with, but you've never, had that opportunity to talk about the next retreat you're doing, the next, 6-month program and experience you're doing. But you're like, instead of me meeting 1 to 50 one-on-ones, why don't I invite the top 50 people I network with to a one-time open house, have a wonderful event, have 20 minutes where you are the content expert explaining where, and what you're looking for. They get some time to be able to dive into what their needs and wants are too, and you're out. So it's a way for you to just unfold a new concept in an open house concept. It can be done virtually. So I worked with a client this summer where she's like, between travel and kids and amen, all the things. She's like, I'm not going to be able to do the overhead of food and beverage. I'm not going to be able to find the place. Like, there were so many restrictions. And I go, don't stress about that. Then it needs to be a virtual open house. And all of your people have 30-minute blocks to go. It was 12 to noon, where 5 people could come from 12 to 12:30 to the virtual slot. 12:30 to 1 could come to the virtual slot. So again, I'm teaching you the 1 to many ratio. This is not a come and go, I hope they show up. They had to reserve their spot in 30-minute chunks, and we opened up 5 spots for each one. So she had just multiple kind of series of, conversations, introductions, what she was doing, how grateful she is for their, relationship and networking. And then the next session would start. So it's a wonderful experience for you to put on, I'd say twice a year. I don't think it's sustainable to do open houses once a month. It's a lot of inviting and follow up and all the pieces that, need to happen in that many engagement points. But it's a great ratio to know if you want one person to show up to your open house, you need about 4 people to invite. So know, again, it's not something wrong with you when attrition is a 1-to-4 ratio. That's pretty much the standard. Okay. Second strategy is where you are facilitating a focus group. And again, everyone loves, I don't care what bucket of people you use this strategy for, everyone loves to give their input, right? They have their 2 cents. This is especially when you're wanting to launch a new, rebrand of something, or you're going to do a beta test of a program. Utilizing this before you launch it, before you sell it, as I would love, 45 minutes. I max this out of 8 to 12 people. So hear my heart in that. You don't want more than 12 people to then be giving customized feedback in the format of facilitating. It's not the right format. The open house format, the more the merrier, right? The next couple concepts I'm going to say, it's going to be a little bit more to the masses. This is you really honing in, and you could do it to the folks that, really already know your products and services. So this would be a retention model that you go, hey, I, have completed my social media calendar for 2025, and these are my new content pillars. Or, hey, this is a new group I'm launching. I want 45 minutes of your feedback on, is this enough benefits? Is the price point appropriate? What about the time commitment? These are going to be my marketing emails. So the win for this is it makes you build in engagement points because you're inviting people to ask questions about those engagement points. So I think if you lack in terms of the self-discipline to go, I have all these great concepts, Connie, of like a launch program, a 6-week, blitz about this, a follow-up program. Put on the calendar a focus group. Get people to solidify a focus group on a Friday morning. Again, face to face at a beautiful coffee shop, and you buy them all breakfast, or wonderful in a virtual formatting. Don't stress about the format. It's then holding your feet to the fire in a great way to go, I have to have 10 slides, or I have to have the marketing pamphlet done, or the website has to be completed, because that's what they're giving us feedback about. Okay. It also gives you real life thousands of dollars of market research that you will never get in a passive survey. Never. Because when people can story tell, when people can go real live feedback without filtering, you, the business owner, this should be one of your engagement points done multiple times a year. Okay. And everyone gives me feedback to go, I've never done a focus group before. How do I facilitate it? It's just like providing a feedback form when you write a survey. You just now ask those questions instead of send them out in a Survey Monkey. Like, you don't need a certification. Everyone gets stressed about this. Do I need to be certified focus group facilitator? No. Do I need to be an expert in adult learning theory? No. You need to get the masses into a place where they can give you feedback for about 45 minutes. Okay. That's a wonderful, wonderful engagement tool. Now, third is that you do a masterclass, an expert topic workshop. And again, this should be you could go and do this tomorrow at 9 a.m. This is not you innovating LLC. I'm going to say it one more time. Your company is not making money by you just pretending like all you do is innovate. You have to execute. You have to get in front of more people, and they need to see your content more. It's not new. For strategy 3, please stop creating new modules and new slide decks. It is that you need the masses because they didn't show up to the first workshop, but then your next workshop's different and you just stressed out and worked on it for 8.5 hours unpaid. Not sustainable to stay top of mind, because then you're not going to do the next workshop and you're going to go, well, it didn't work. And I'm going to go, because you didn't repeat it 8 times. If I go anything else, this is your, I don't have to think about it. I can activate it tomorrow. It's always, sometimes I put this as a backstage pass. Come see what it's like to work with me for a 45-minute backstage pass. I've got tomorrow night and I've got Friday, morning for 10 spots. It is something that is very low preparation for you. It's a way for people to go, super, I'd love to go and, see that workshop, experience that new concept, sit for 30 minutes in that master class or that express coaching class with you. Or if it's a product-based business, because I want to be mindful of that for, some of our MLM folks, some of our folks that have brick and mortars, some of our folks that have tactile products, then all it is you doing an expert express like 101. Like, how do I use this widget in 5 different ways? How do I, because most people don't know how to use that product and then they don't ever buy it again from you. So the way I like to coach this, if you have a product-based business or you're an MLM product-based business, is this is a how-to. This is a step by step by step. You could do it in your sleep, but people are not engaging with you because they have guilt and shame that they aren't at your level to do what you do. You are an expert in your industry. You are at least 6 steps ahead of people that work with you and follow you. You may not be, all the things in your industry. I don't even know I'll never know all the things in my industry, but I know where I'm 6 steps ahead and I know where I can elevate someone's skill set. You can do that. That's what that topic would be, for them to experience your content, not a passive video or a passive recording. It's you experiencing and them experiencing what it's like to do work with you. That is the outcome of that. Don't stress about the freaking graphic. Don't get, sticker. I always say people get like, on the sticker books, and this is like such a perfect example. In the sticker books, it's like they have to go exactly where they are. The sticker book needs to be completed at this. And I'm like, actually, these expert topic workshops could happen every week. They could do 52 of them. And you just keep inviting every Tuesday at noon, 5 different people, 10 different people, until it just becomes a rhythm in your follow-up strategy. Because then when you have the garden of new people and you're like, it's too intense to invite them to a sales conversation. What the heck do I do with them? Hey, every Tuesday at noon, I have an expert topic about strategy, about marketing, about skincare, about real estate, about fill in the blank. It's such a smooth, natural way to be like, if they're interested and they want to come see what's in your garden, that's a very non-invasive way to follow up. And you literally can follow up with them every month on that. Every month. I still do healthy happy hours that are about engagement strategies. And I've been doing them for years, face to face, how long, 1 hour long, because it's a beautiful pipeline that it's touch point 6, 7, 8 that they're like, okay, I finally want to work with you. I've been to like 9 of these. And if I get this much value in that, I can't even imagine what I'm going to get when I actually like work with you or they actually purchase your program. That's the purpose of these. Okay. All right, we're on the downhill stretch for 4 minutes and then we'll go Q&A. So the VIP client experience, this is exactly the format I want you working with for your retention. It doesn't have to be overdone. It doesn't have to be at the nicest, brewery in town. This could be in your backyard where you have a lovely spread of appetizers and it's just a get to know you with your top 10 and appreciate your clients. That 4th bucket of what are you doing to retain your clients? Most people think I need to monetize that, meaning it has to be something of an up-level program, a maintenance program, a membership program. What I'm saying in terms of staying top of mind is sometimes your follow-up for your retaining clients is just appreciation events. People want recognition and appreciation, and it is one of the most underutilized, please hear my heart in this, underutilized tool for you to stay top of mind. Okay. So if you don't have an appreciation event at least annually, it may not be in the next 3 months. I honor that because we've got, 10 weeks before the year's over. Don't stress. But now is the time to start planning for next year's VIP appreciation event. There is no sales. There is no expectation. It is a wonderful time for recognition, appreciation, and really fellowship to happen to keep retaining those clients. That is a non-negotiable for that quadrant. You can use the other strategies I'm leaning into, but it wouldn't make sense to have a VIP client experience to attract new clients. Like that's a perfect example of what I'm saying is do not send out a VIP client experience to your entire freaking email list that they've never done work with you. That's a waste of an engagement point, right? It needs to be your top 10% of everyone that has worked with you and everyone that keeps working with you. There needs to be a special engagement moment for them. It's a missed strategy over and over and over. I'll always intake when clients work with me for follow-up or retaining clients. I'm like, when's your appreciation event? And they're like, I did one once during the holidays and I spent too much money and it wasn't worth it. And I go, because that's not you don't need to spend money on these experiences. It needs to be an afternoon, just honestly, it could be an espresso bar of iced coffees and just a wonderful time for them to feel appreciated and seen and get to know you on a more personal level. Okay. And again, that still can be virtual. I've seen plenty, especially in the last 2 years. And again, hear my heart. I'm coaching right now in St. Thomas on a boat and I'm virtually full time. I still have a VIP event at the end of the year where we will talk and debrief strategy and how much I've seen in them and what growth I've seen in them and how much I appreciate them trusting me as a coach to come alongside. And that's going to be in a very formal, appreciative way in a 2-hour event virtually at zero cost. Well, back that up. It's going to cost me a stamp because I am going to send them a beautiful card of appreciation and a picture of us doing work together from that year. But that's it. So 45 cents. Okay. So it can be done without having a huge event budget. Okay. Last but not least, folks, interview and panel. Again, this can be virtual. This can be more of that virtual summit model. So it's a way for you to get your strategic partners that work well with you, your great referral partners. And instead of putting just testimonials on the email in your newsletter, this is a way for there to be more of a Q&A panel concept, right? Very easy to invite people to. Again, it's a wonderful technique so that people get to see you in action. They get to hear what it's like. So I just put on the Elite Women retreat. In January, I'll be doing a panel of people that have worked with me at the retreat, people that supported the retreat in terms of they didn't attend. That will never be something they want to do because of the stage of life they are in, but they referred why and who they found would be a great person to attend that event. And it brings to life the story and the questions. And then people can attend to go, if this is at all on your radar in the next 5 years, translate this to your business model. Here's really what you can expect. Here's really what the investment, does, not just what the marketing email has. Wonderful way to humanize your marketing. So write that down for the 5th strategy. An interview and panel concept for you to invite many, not one, that we're not doing that ratio anymore. Okay. Is that this humanizes your marketing plan. It helps it not be so Claude AI wrote it, and then it's a stagnant, newsletter with graphics. It's a way for you to bring storytelling to life in connection to your business. Okay. So if you enjoyed any of these topics or you enjoyed what you heard today, one, I want to know definitely when we stop the screen share, I want to know Stephanie's outcomes and takeaways. And then Jess, I want to hear your outcomes and takeaways. But for everyone else that's watching the recording, feel free to message me or make a comment on my YouTube channel. I have a 10-day challenge that they're 20-minute daily videos that you can watch at your own. It's DIY kind of style. But I did this training a couple years ago as a paid experience. I've now taken one of those 2-week chunks and put all of those trainings on my YouTube channel. So that playlist, if you go to Elite Entrepreneur Coach Connie Kercher on YouTube, you find that green graphic there, the Adulting 10-day engagement challenge. I'll make sure that I put it in the chat here. You can start watching and getting even more tactile strategies to bring some of these to life, how to invite people creatively, how to follow up with people once they've attended your VIP event. So that gives you another resource so that this training and this experience today is not just a one and done, because that is not who I am. This gives you more of the toolkit and more exposure to what I believe a lot of business owners are missing is the long-term game plan to love on your clients, to encourage your clients, to stay with your clients. You do, remember how I said at the beginning of the training, You do so much work to get out there. And then you have business cards doing nothing with. And then you have an email list that dies. I don't want us doing that as solopreneurs and entrepreneurs anymore. Okay. So I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to put that in the chat for that link, because I think that is just super fruitful to oh, that's funny. The copy and paste is joyful from the the link of the Zoom password. That was awesome. I won't put joyful in, but I could. And then again, if there's anything I can support you with in today's training or strategy or follow-up or marketing, happy to do so. So Stephanie, give me outcomes, questions, and then Jess, and then you take the show from there, Stephanie. And you're on mute, sweet friend.
Yeah. Well, first off, awesome. I love all the ways of breaking down the list, like I know it's something to do, but at the same time, there have been times where I just didn't know how to do that. And so just that simple step was huge. And I think the biggest one for me is probably that interview panel thing. I had a huge idea for that. So yeah, that'll be great. I'm thinking for the creative network thing. So
yes, top
yeah.
two. Love. Thank you for everything we covered today. I'm telling you, take action on two, sustain it two. If you can't do it this year, take it
Yeah.
into next year and repeat it again.
Right. And
Awesome.
that probably that other action would be just the workshop thing, like just
Yeah.
doing the standard workshop. Like, yeah, that just needs to
Yeah.
happen more.
And and then because it's beautiful that then again, when you think about the garden, that standing, that's why it's like the Kercher, it's like number 3 out of the 5. Cause I'm like, that one, y'all, you could be inviting 1 week. The primary invitation list is your
Mm-hmm.
retention list. The next week, next month, your primary list is all your looky-loos. The
Yeah.
next month you activate the same workshop. Please stop innovating. Then can be all of your cross promoter folks that never you do that type of, service within your business.
Yeah.
So it's a standing way for you to bring the many in front of you. You're not driving around town or just doing one-on-one sales strategies or
Mm-hmm.
marketing strategies. And it should reinvigorate you,
Yeah.
because you're talking about, you're loving on your business over and over and over. So it's a standing appointment with yourself that you can't check out of your own business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So many layers in that. Okay, Stephanie. Oh, awesome. 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 All right, Jess, what were outcomes there?
I like stuff. I love the doing the standing workshop
Okay.
and building that, because I find when and it's you just said it, where it's how you reengage, it's how I reengage with it. It's how I reengage with all the different pieces, especially as I'm still building them. So and I still do a lot of the one-on-ones right now. Much more newbie for all of this right now.
Yep.
But when I do that one-on-one, and I'm starting to build it for one-to-many. Tune in next week, because that's the debut of the one-to-many.
Yep.
That having that built, having that in the back pocket will be huge. And when I do the one-on-ones, it turns into a focus group, because I kind of can't help myself, and it just sort of leads into because what I've been building is still pretty new, so it leads into them asking me questions, and then me just inherently asking them questions and saying, oh, okay, so what do you think about this, or what, and I can filter through the feedback, but having the feedback is helpful.
Yep.
Yep. And so those are going to be probably my starting point too.
Good.
And then the open with people, as I keep building this, then the initial open houses can happen. Then the VIP stuff can start to happen, because there's a lot of stuff I keep playing with to kind of keep backfilling into the content. And so, but this was helpful to have validated starting point
Yeah.
that I'm like, oh, and it feels really good right now to be like, look, I was doing something
Yeah.
innately.
Yeah. Good. Good.
And who, because that to me was the sort of is the logical piece, the logical sort of that starting point.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the other piece is as you're meeting, networking, introduction, someone gives you a virtual introduction, the beauty of being able to go, what category do they mostly fit in? So that from here on out in 2027, you can go my, list of, just my cross promoter folks, just my build network that again, never going to use your services. Like, that's okay. Like, what do we do with that bucket of people? Most of my clients don't have a clue what to do with that bucket of people. So they just never get engagement. They never stay top of mind. And I'm like, they could be your number one person when they are sitting on that next connect and going, oh, you need a business coach. Oh, there's a person, Connie XYZ. Oh, you need someone that's specialized in natural skincare.
Absolutely.
Like you have to stay top of mind with that 1/3 of the garden.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
Good. That was awesome feedback. Thank you for those takeaways.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Thank you.
my pleasure. So if there's anything else I can be of service, if you can't tell, I'm very passionate about creating sustainable business models where we actually enjoy working in our businesses, actually love the process of marketing, and it's not a conundrum or you feel weird about, like, I don't know how to do this, Connie. Make it to a place where all of next year, like 2025, you can go, I know I have from January to December, at least those 5 to 12. Like that would be such a huge shift to go, I know what I'm doing in March. I know what I'm doing in June. I know what I'm doing in October. Like these are my one to many now placeholders so that as you meet new people, as people come in your pipeline, as the looky-loos come in, as
Oh no.
You can't hear her either.
Yeah, no. You
Okay.
you dropped
I
out
was
for
like,
a sec. Oh
yes.
no. Yeah, you're back.
Hi.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know, sorry. I was like, I can go into the hotspot. But I was just saying that then you have those touch points to place the people in. You're not having to front load it and get confused next year.
Yeah, absolutely. That was wonderful. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yes.